Hello everybody, welcome back to this video, and we are discussing about the Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. So we have seen the transport layer service model, all the TCP service model. Now let us look at the actual protocol, the TCP protocol. So to start with an overview. So here, as you know that it's a byte, TCP is a byte-oriented, byte stream-oriented protocol, and every byte has its own sequence number. So every byte of data that you write in will have its own sequence number. So this is say sequence, first byte, sequence number 1, second byte, sequence number 2, and so on. So every byte has its 32-bit sequence number. Okay, and the data unit at the transport layer is called a segment. So that is the data unit for transport between transport entities. So the transport entity at the sender will send a segment, and the transport entity at the receiver will receive a segment. Now each segment cannot be of just any size. So each segment has a 20-byte fixed size header. Now if you recall that in any layered protocol, you have any protocol that is there, every layer will take the data from the upper layer, data which is coming from the upper layer, and put it in a data unit and include a header. Okay, so this data which is here, it is coming from the application layer, and this header is added by the transport layer. So the TCP also adds a 20-byte header, adds a 20-byte fixed sized header. So this header is in TCP is 20 bytes. And then it has an optional data part. So this data part is optional. So there may be data, there may not be data. So listen to this carefully. It means that a segment may only have a header. Only header. No segment. Okay, this is possible because sometimes we want to send only, like suppose when we want to update the window size or send only an acknowledgement. In that case, you don't need to send any data. So the segment has, every segment is of minimum size of the segment will be 20 bytes because the header is there, fixed size header is there, and then followed by an optional data part, so 0 or more bytes. Okay. So the segment size, who decides the segment size? It is decided by the TCP entity. And it can space across multiple reads, or a single read can be split across segments. That means from the application, I'm receiving all these. Every time I'm reading from the application, I'm getting one of this. So the transport layer may decide to put all 4 of this as in one chunk, as I have explained in the previous one. So this can be one segment. Or I can also have the reverse. Okay, that is, I may read one chunk from the application, and then I can break it down into smaller units and then consider each of these to be one segment. Okay, so this is how the segments can be constructed. Now, I told you the minimum size of the segment will be 20. So is there a maximum size? Yes, it is. There is a maximum segment size. So the main consideration is that it must fit into the payload of the IP. Remember, the segment which is sent from the transport layer is encapsulated into a IP packet. So the IP consists of IP header and IP payload. Payload is basically the data. So this segment must fit into this place. Okay, and what is the payload? That is 65,515 bytes. So this includes, now this, what comes here, this segment will also have the header and the data. So this is 20 bytes of the header, and the rest is your data. So this inside the payload, it should be 20 plus whatever is the data. Okay, so that will give us a size. Also, another thing that is important here is each link has something called a maximum transfer unit, okay, which is expressed in terms of bytes. So this maximum transfer unit is the size of the largest protocol data unit that can be communicated in a single network layer transaction. Okay, so the segment that you're sending here, this segment must fit into that. Okay, usually which is this MTU is 1500 bytes, which is the Ethernet payload. So it has to fit into these two requirements. All right, so this is the the two restrictions on the segment side. Now coming to the basic protocol. So two features of the protocol is that first it uses the sliding window protocol, which I have mentioned earlier. We discussed the sliding window protocol, and then it uses the sliding window protocol with dynamic window size. So to implement flow control and congestion control, the window size is kept to be dynamic, okay, so that when if the receiver wants to slow down the sending rate, then it can inform the sender, and then the sender will accordingly adjust the window size. So sliding window protocol with dynamic window size is being used. So the protocol is like this. First, a sender transmits a segment and it starts a timer. So sender sends a segment, starts the timer. Okay. When the segment arrives at the destination, the receiving TCP entity sends back a segment. Okay. It sends back a segment bearing an acknowledgement number, which equals to the next sequence number it is expected to receive, and the remaining window size. Okay. So if this was sequence number 1, then in the acknowledgement, it will have sequence number 2. That means 2 is the one which I am expecting next. And also it says, it sends something more. What more? What is the, how many slots does it have? 3, that is the window size. So if here initially it was 4, then 1 is used. So remaining window size is 3. So this is sent back to the sender. And if the sender's timer goes off before this comes back, before this is received, it will retransmit. Okay, the sender retransmits the segment again. All right. Here you see this was a segment. This is another segment. Each of this is a segment. Okay. Now this may have data or this may not have data. So first one, let's assume that this was data, but the second one is just an acknowledgement. Suppose the receiver does not want to send any data to the sender. Okay, so in that case, it is only sending this information, that is acknowledgement for 2 and remaining slot 3 is 3. So this is being sent by the sender. So there is no data. So this can be a segment which only consists of the header, but no data. So that is how basic protocol works. Okay. So now we have seen that it is a byte-oriented protocol, byte sequence number. It has sequence number for every byte. It has a fixed size header of 20 bytes and an optional data part. Okay, and this is how it works. Okay, now we can discuss about the TCP segment header in our next video.